final round of the ERL Formula E World Series takes us to Abuja, Nigeria, where Cable starts on 4th from Caspar and Nico Palomino. Chris Cornwell starts 4th from Marcus Nelson and Revo. Following him is Kazuki Sims, Hachai Silla up in 8th from Charles Hernandez, and Linus Eriksson. Then comes Darren Sparks, who needs to score 12 to make his way into next season. Then comes your boy, your pub, Chiclet, Ocampo, Butler, Hudson, Nunez Garcia, and Gabriela Barton. Sorry, I lost my words there. Versio starts 20th from Onkarazra and Demobot start, then comes back row. It's all Venturi, Sigmund, and David 12. The 15th and final race in the ERL Formula E World Series takes us to Abuja under the lights as all 5 lights go on. And we are underway for one last time in Season 29, and it is a stunning start there from Nico Palomino off the line. Poor start, and oh, they're already wrecking! Oh no! Red flag off the line. Sparks is out. That's 5 cars, probably even more. Oh my goodness me, it's carnage down the main straight. Farcical race start today. On that race start, we lost Hernandez, your boy, Hachai Silla, Linus Eriksson, and crucially, Darren Sparks. We're about to get back underway, and we are now green once more here in Nigeria. Once again, a poor start for Revo off the line. Nico Palomino off to starting from the front row. He's looking for the pass for the lead coming through turn number 1. Has the inside line, but doesn't have the traction of the 89. Cable holds the lead from Palomino and LeBeau. Look at Revo there in 6th. Needs to move up the order as we ride on board with the 13 of Marcus Nelson, who well and truly is riding the lightning tonight. And look at Zygmunt there in 16th. He's also trying to make his way into next season, avoiding the relegation battle that unfortunately Darren Sparks, will not avoid. Scoring 0 points all season for the 65. In any case, track limits definitely being avoided there by most of the field, getting up close and personal with that outside wall. It's a wonder that none of them have been touching it, but they go so close to it is the thing. Somehow, this is something we've seen in practice. They don't hit that wall. I'm shocked too. We're on to lap 2 of 14. Cable leads from Palomino and Casper LeBeau. This is the battle for second in the championship up front, which really could go to anyone. It could. Fastest first sector for the 89, who's going for his 3rd win on the season. You can see graining already beginning to appear on that 93 car. The softs suffering from high degradation, and in fact probably every compound suffering from a lot of degradation today. And just look at them run through this next set of corners by actually not going as fast through that sector. I think they're not using as much push to pass. They're not using any push to pass going through those 2 corners on this lap. It's caused them to be a lot more, well, conservative. Palomino comes in, and look at this. The fight for second here. Nelson is going to get past Casper LeBeau, surely. They're going to go side by side. Sims moves up to 5th. Revo's up to 4th. How in the world has this happened? Nelson unable to make the pass. They're still going side by side, 2 wide for an entire lap. Could that work out for these guys as Revo moves up into 4th place, just about edging in front of the Japanese driver? Or is he in front? The 11 still there as Nelson's dropped off the back of Casper. Chris Cornwell in that 96 car dropped down to 6th, but I think she's still got a bit of a chance here coming through these corners now. Using some attack mode. Attack charge, sorry. 10 seconds the margin out in front. Cable just living it up out in the race lead. The 96 using all the push to pass she has available. In comes Cable from the race lead. Casper LeBeau follows him in. Nelson staying out though. I believe he'll inherit the race lead. We're going to ride on board with the 96 as he comes in. Or will we? Because they're going 3 wide down the main straight. Cornwell versus Puff versus Sims. Down into turn number 1, and it is the Scotsman who will come out in front. Coming out of the pits there for the 89 of Cable. Where is he going to be? Just behind Nico Palomino, who has a 5-second time penalty. So that's far from optimal. Ocampo actually closing up to the back of the British driver Marcus Nelson at the head of the pack from Puff and Chris Cornwell. Look at Sims behind as well as Bogdasarov quite a ways off that battle for second. David 12 at home drops behind Palomino. I think Oinkro Ezra definitely at threat, if not from the overtake, from a potential tire blowout here, because at around 15 or so percent, these tires aren't looking too good after 4 laps on the same set of softs. Probably expect them to do one less if someone were to pit onto them. And U-Cable there, getting past. Oh my goodness me! Holy crap! Palomino and Ezra out of the race. Perfect timing for Nelson, Puff, Cornwell, and Sims, and Bogdasarov as well to go down into the pits and change tires. What in the hell happened for Palomino and Ezra? It's like they rocketed off the wall. Might be a glitch in the game, honestly. But that is unimaginable. Nelson comes out in the lead, followed by Puff and Chris Cornwell, and she might have an opportunity to try and go for the win if this stint works out well. U-Cable drops down to 5th. We're green again here in Nigeria. And the Nigerian fans, once again, seeing one of their homeboys unfortunately crash out. And did Ocampo have damage there? Because that's his second stop of the race already. I wouldn't know why he's come in again. We got another caution, though. That's for Zygmunt and for Daniel Bogdasarov. That right there is Zygmunt's car. So I'm inclined to believe, yeah, there is the Honda. That is coming out of the pits for the 2 drivers there. Both outside of the top 20 in points. For Zygmunt and Sparks, that is their season 29 and also their season 30 if they wanted to drive in Formula E. Well, now the opportunity is gone. 23rd in the championship for Zygmunt, 24th for Sparks. That means that neither of them will be returning next season. Full course yellows are ending. It opens up seats at Hamlin, Aguirre, and Venturi. Once again, Venturi just not looking too quick this season, as we are now green again. Power Motorsport currently running a 5.6. It's good that it's not a 6.7. Down the main straight to begin lap number 6. And a third and final track limits warning there for the 89. Definitely beginning to push that car a little more. As you can see, Remy LeBeau hopping over the curb there. And Revo lost out in that pit stop phase under the yellows as well as Hudson comes in, as did Casper LeBeau. All of these guys who came in under green lost out humongously, to say the least. Puff trying to close up to his fellow one-time ERL Formula E champion here. Hudson's going to come out on his very own, down in 15th place. It's wild to think that we have 15 runners in this race currently. 1.4 seconds, 1.5, 1.6 actually, between Nelson and Puff, with 8 to go in this final race of the season. And the Scotsman is throwing everything that he has to try and close up to the back of your race leader. Cornwell now closing up to the back, as is Kazuki Sims. These 4 your race-winning protagonists. In any case, 56.274 fastest lap set by the Japanese driver, currently running 4th with the most slipstream down the main straight. U-Cable dives down into the pits for his second stop of the race. Hard tires definitely could do about 5 laps. Casper comes in as well. Butler's done 4 laps. Revo's done 3. The main reason you would go for the hards is to try and skip a pit stop, basically. Hudson getting very close to the outside wall there. U-Cable already down at turn 1. Garcia and LeBeau there getting their pit stops done. The 31 blows right by him. Are they at risk of going a lap down? Not really. Cornwell hustling and bustling on the back of that 9 car, who has lost touch with Marcus Nelson there. Down into pit lane then for the Dane. Is this the opportunity for a pass? Not quite, because they're still about 6 or 7 tenths away from each other on lap 8 of 14 here in Abuja, Nigeria. This is the final round of this season of the ERL Formula E World Series Season 29, as now U-Cable down in 11th place, getting a 5-second time penalty for track limits. If he serves another pit stop today, he will have to serve that time penalty in the pits, and it'll be the second one that Power Motorsport will have to do, as Butler has come in and is serving a time penalty. Casper LeBeau gets one, down in 13th. Revo coming out of the pits there for his second stop. Casper and LeBarkson and Garcia all getting 5-second time penalties for track limits excursions, which is far from optimal. You are Puff. Experience with winning the final round of a Season 1 in St. Petersburg, the only ERL race in Formula E to be run at St. Pete. As the top three all now dive down into the pits. Surely your favorites for the race win today. Nelson getting a third track limits breach and getting close to the wall. Getting a time penalty for track limits. Heading down this main straight then. Is he gonna be in front of Viewer Puff? That was a flying outlap there, and it is going to be the race lead for the Dane, and by quite some margin as well. U-Cable hustling on the back of Nigeria's only driver still in this race in David 12, heading down that main straight again. Revo getting a third and final track limits warning. They're up into 5th place for the 89, and Revo and Checlerc both getting 5-second time penalty for causing for track limits, sorry. Same for Versio and Sebastian Ocampo there. 10 seconds the margin out in front. The outlap critical for Marcus Nelson to increase that race lead. And I think he might just ride that to the checkered flag. Certainly has another stop to make, so watch this space, everybody. This race is far from over right now. If you're to back a single driver for this race win, honestly, David 12 might be a dark horse. Down into the pits then for Marcus Nelson. Close to the wall there for Chris Cornwell. The entirety of the top 5 with time penalties to serve, as Nelson now serves his. 4 to go from Abuja, Nigeria, in the Abuja ePrix. How many times am I going to say the name of this Crown Nation's capital? Where is Nelson going to come out here? Might be around David 12. We went for the fact that he was coming in. Time penalty and a full course yellow there. Lawless Checlerc out of the race. Contact with Nunez Garcia, who was likely coming in anyway, but front wing damage for the Luxembourgish driver means that unfortunately he will find no luck with 4 to go. This is when you want to serve your time penalties and come in and make that pit stop. So for Casper LeBeau, though he'll be coming out outside of the top 10, this is not the worst possible outcome then. 37 seconds off the lead. Let's see if he can get himself up into the top 5 then. We're green again here in Abuja, Nigeria. And Yua Puff doing what he can to increase the lead that he has over Chris Cornwell. 1.7 seconds though. The Nord Hyperdrive driver closing in, heading down the main straight with 3 laps to go. Are we going to see a grandstand finish today? With Marcus Nelson getting a track limits warning, closing up to the back of U-Cable here. Are they going to go for a bit of an overtake down at BMW Andretti? No, they will not, because the 89 comes down into the pits. Casper LeBeau getting a track limits warning as Chris Cornwell, she's all over the back of Yua Puff. Track limits warning for Puff's teammate in Nunez Garcia. That 9 car driving that car as best as he can. As Versio getting a track limits warning. Is that a little bit of a dummy block there from the Season 24 champion? Trying to hold off the Champ Car Season 7 champion with all that he has. Look at that, just blasting off away. Coming through the final corner then. Are they going to come in? Into the pits for Yua Puff and for Chris Cornwell. They've got a 22-second margin over Marcus Nelson. That is not going to be enough to hold the Dane off. This is going to be one of those Viking charges with 2 to go. Surely Revo, Butler, and Ocampo are going to come in as well. Those tires look absolutely fried. Nelson takes the lead of this race and is probably not going to look back unless he needs to make another stop. Look at that there for Dominic Hudson holding off Casper LeBeau. He's in amongst some of the fastest drivers in the field here, heading down the main straight, and he's going to make some passes there in front of Devin Butler and Gabriel LeBarkson. also in front of Casper LeBeau there. Sims coming out of the pits, sees David 12 get past Revo, who surely needs to pit at the end of this lap. 4 laps on the same set of mediums. You can say the same for Devin Butler as well, as he gets overtaken by both Nunez Garcia and surely Casper LeBeau, and it's out of the race for the Frenchman. Oh, he collects Nunez Garcia as well. Nunez Garcia in the wall as Casper LeBeau and Devin Butler both go out here in Nigeria. The Luxembourgish driver gets it back on the road. This is when you need to come in, if you do. Especially if your name's Marcus Nelson and you want to win this race. You can take advantage of all the soft compound tires for your rivals, but the cautions are ending. And he's staying out. So to begin the penultimate lap, the Season 9 Formula E World Series champion, Marcus Nelson, takes us back to green. On lap 13, Sims all over the back of Revo. That's a slow-moving Chris Cornwell. And it is a rear puncture for the 96 of Chris Cornwell, avoided by Nunez. And it's a big wreck there down the straight. It's Revo and Sims both out of this race. And a big suspension failure there for the Sims 888 man. Revo barreled down around the final corner. Effectively wall-righted it, as you saw, and for the series champion, his day ends in the wall. Was that down to a puncture? It might have been, because as you can see, Ocampo comes in, and he's got a full car puncture, at least developing. It's on the left side only as we go green again, and Nelson is not pulling away from you a puff here. David 12's moved up into third place as Cornwell and Ocampo both come into the pits with punctures. So both 12 and Nelson at risk. You could say Hudson, LeBarkson, and Versio also at risk of tyre blowouts, and the same for Garcia. Ocampo comes out on 3-lap old soft compound tyres. That's the only tyres he's got available to him. And you are puffed now all over the back of Marcus Nelson as we come down into the final corner on the penultimate lap. To the line we go to begin the current lap. 1 to go. You are Puff is going to go ahead and take the lead here in Nigeria. You always knew the Scotsman had it in him. Always knows how to give the fans a show. And you are Puff, the showman, takes the lead. One last time in Season 29. And unfortunately, Marcus Nelson's got nothing left to give. 1% tire wear. He hits 0 coming out of that corner. And for Marcus Nelson, it's a front puncture that goes first. David 12 trying to close up too, but he's hit 0 as well. Hudson, LeBarkson, and Versio Garcia as well. And I think Ocampo too could all be at risk, as Cornwell looking for the pass on the 2-time Formula E champion, going side by side, heading down into 1. Ocampo just manages to defend it. You are Puff streaking out in front. David 12 trying to hold on to a podium at home, but I don't think it's going to come to him. But for you, Puff, he's going to head down to the start-finish line and win the Abuja ePrix, the last round of the season. Dominic Hudson trying to close up and overtake David 12 for the podium, but he doesn't have too much pace in that Mercedes. Marcus Nelson is going to come home with second, but looking back with David 12, the home fans unfortunately see their man drop down to 5th by the final corner. Hudson's tyres at 1%. They'll just hold on for a Mercedes podium in front of pole sitter UK. Well, the tyres go for Versio as he comes across the line. The tyres go for Garcia as well. I think surely Ocampo struggling there, 13%, just was able to get by. Oh my goodness! Cornwell just took 8th on the line. But what a day for you, Puff. Here is your final podium of the season then. You are Puff taking home the win from Marcus Nelson and Dominic Hudson. Not 3 drivers you would expect to see on this podium. Had it been Season 25 or so, you would expect to see that top 2. Hudson at the time was in IndyCar, really ripping it up. It's just the recent efforts in the O3s that make you doubt some of these drivers a little more. But Under the lights, here in Nigeria, your puff from Scotland prevails. As for the rest of your finishes, you Cable came home in 4th from Gabriel Abarton and Versio, then came David 12, giving the home crowd at least 6 points to his name. Chris Cornwell, 8th from Nunes Garcia and Sebastian Ocampo, the only finishes from this race. Here's what your final driver standings look like. Revo coming home on 200 points, with you Cable on 91. Despite not finishing in the past 3 races, Revo somehow still managed to score double the points of the guy in 2nd. Nico Palomino was running 2nd for a while there, but unfortunately couldn't quite hold on with the non-finish today. Linus Eriksson 4th from Casper Lebo and Charles Hernandez. Your boy 7th from Chris Cornwell and Kazuki Sims, then came Versio, your top 10. Dominic Hudson, Nunes Garcia, Devin Butler, and you are puffed out on points with Marcus Nelson, Sebastian Ocampo, also in that 3-way tie. So it's all champions from 14th down to 16th. And came Miles Leclerc, Boinko, Ezra, Hatchai Silla, scoring no points for Matthew Hart. So of course Matthew Hart, 19th from David 12, Daniel Bokazov, and Gabriella Barton. Sigmund and Darren Sparks, unfortunately, will be relegated and forced to drive in either F2 or IndyCar next season. Meanwhile, the champions of the 2 categories, IndyCar and Champ Car, will be effectively obliged to take any seat in Formula E. Those seats just open up. Here's your final constructors standings. Nord Hyperdrive advanced racing in their last season as Nord Hyperdrive before fully becoming Revolution Racing next season, scoring 263 points and the championship. What's wild about that is that Revo's point score alone was enough for the championship. Tag Heuer Porsche on 155 points in their first season in the ERL since season 14, I believe. In any case, a fantastic return. 2nd place in the championship for them. Logitech Power Motorsport, despite that late charge, only coming home in 3rd, with Sims 888 CGR in 4th. 1 point ahead of BMW I and Andretti. You must say, that top 5 in the championship, honestly, fantastic drivers in all of those seats. And that's kind of what we want to see a lot more of if they can just get a lot closer. Next, EVTCR, 6th from Citroen version and Mercedes EQ, then came Kira Raceco in 9th, Amna Maguri, Honda Racing Team, and Venturi Racing. Another season in the books then, season 30 of the ERL Formula E World Series. I mean, it could certainly be the last season. I seriously don't know if they can keep doing this, but of all the dominant seasons and dominant performances, Revo's 12-race streak before crashing out in Melbourne, and of course the 2 non-finishes here in Nigeria, that might be one of the more impressive runs. A worst finish of 10th, and outside of that, 5 first places, 2 fourths, a 2nd, 2 thirds, a 9th, and a 10th. Secured him that championship. So many other drivers having so many more wrecks and non-scores there. But from all of us here at Sparkplug Motorsport, thank you so much for watching. Next up here on the channel will be the Shanghai Formula E race recap. And then, of course, the lead up to the World 500. Like, comment, share, hype, subscribe. Get a membership, I guess, as well, if you want to do that. We will see you guys next time, man, when the ERL returns.